Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm doing a review of one of my most highly anticipated games of 2024, and this is Arcs, Conflict and Collapse in the Reach. So this is the new game by Wehrle from Leader Games. As you know, I am a big fan of Wehrle. I am a big fan of Leader Games, and this is a war game with some trick-taking elements in it. So let me go over what's going to be going on in this game, how it's played. So this is only the base game. Let me get it straight. As you can see, it's a small box. The game also comes with a campaign that that plays in like 3 sessions. It is much bigger than this. The base game, I believe, is to prepare you for the campaign. But is it worth getting the base game alone? Well, I'll be going into that after I show you how this game plays. So everyone's gonna pick a color, and you're going to get your cities and where you're gonna place your starting ships and your starting cities and your starting starports. Everyone's gonna be getting 6 cards. So this has got, like I said before, it's got some trick-taking elements in it. Every card has a different suit that do different actions. So starting with the person who has initiative, they're going to play a card, and you could take an action or you can claim an ambition. Now on the right side of the board, there's going to be a bunch of ambitions. That's how you're going to score at the end of the round. Now one ambition is Tycoon, which you have to have the most oil or material resource at the end of the round. Another one is Warlord, have the most captured or destroyed ships in your trophy section. Another one is Tyrant, by capturing and arresting other players' agents. And then another one is have the most relics, and then you have another one that have the most I forgot the name of it. Darn, it was like it was similar to a psionics. That's what it was, and I think that was it. But yeah, no. So that's one of those are the ways that you're going to score at the end of the round. So you're going to lead with a card. And on that card can be several actions and the number. So what the next person wants to do is they can play the same suit if they want, but they have to, if they want to take the several actions that are on the card, they have to surpass you. So they have to play a card that is the same suit or higher. Now on the card there's going to be these little dots or pips. That's going to tell you how many actions you can take. I believe it goes up to 4 that are the most. So in order to take that action, you have to beat the person with initiative. Now, if they claimed ambition, their card automatically turns to a 0. So it will be very easy to beat them and surpass them, and use a surpass action. Another thing you can do is pivot. So you can play a card, but you only can take 1 action, and even if it is the same suit. Another thing you can do is copy. You play a card face down and you take 1 action of the lead card. If you want to take initiative, you would have to play a card and then play another card face down, so you are losing another turn for that round. Now the different actions that are on the card, one is build, which allows you to build your ship in a starport, build a starport, or build a city. Now cities are what help you tax and gain the resource. I'll go over tax later. Now, the way you control a planet is you have to have the most ships there. So it doesn't matter if a rival has a city there. If you have the most battleships there, you are going to control that planet. Now, if somebody builds a city or starport in an area that you control, then that city or starport is going to be built damaged. Same goes if they do have a starport there and somebody else has control, and you want to build a ship, that ship is going to become damaged and it's going to be tipped on its side. Any ships that are tipped on their side are considered damaged, so another hit would destroy them. Another thing you can do is move. So you can take any amount of ships that you want, move it to somewhere adjacent, unless you're moving from a loyal starport, which allows you to catapult. So you can move as many times as you want until you go into an area that is controlled by a rival player, where you must stop. Another thing you can do is influence. You would take your agents and place them on one of the 4 cards that are around. Now, these cards can give you passive abilities or other abilities as well. So how do you get those cards? Well, you have to take the secure action that is on that card, but you have to have the most agents on there. Now, if other players have their agents on that card, you will capture those agents into your captive area. Another thing you can do is tax. Like I stated before, you can tax your own city and tax the resource that is from that planet. And then you can tax a rival city. But when you tax a rival city, you will take somebody, that player's agent into your captive area. I think I pretty much went over all the actions. And I'm sorry, the last thing, most importantly, is battle. So when you battle, depending on how many ships you have there's going to be 3 different types of dice. You have the assault dice, which are red. You have the blue dice, which are skirmish, and then you have the raid dice, which are orange. Now, depending on how many ships you got, you're going to choose which dice you want to use. So now the red dice would usually cause more damage, but there's a good chance your ships are going to get damaged in return or hit back. The blue dice only hit your opponent, but you have a higher chance of missing. Now the raid dice only works when your opponent has a city there, or they have no buildings at all on the map. So when you use a raid dice, you're pretty much raiding your rival's city or area. So you're able to take certain cards from them or certain resources from their board, and it depends on the keys. So on the board and on the cards that are in the player's court, and they're gonna show key symbols. That shows how many keys you have to roll in order to steal that card from them. But the problem with the raid dice is there's a very good chance they're gonna hit you back. So you have to be tactical in how many dice and which dice you're going to use. Now, this is gonna keep going on until everyone runs out of cards or everyone passes. So after that, everyone's going to score the ambition. So there's going to be 3 different types of ambition, 3 ambitions. So there's going to be 3 ambitions available, the most that are available that round. So you're going to look at all the ambitions that were put out, and you're going to score each one. The lowest tiled ambition is going to be flipped over to a higher score in the next round, and then you will reset everything and do everything all over again. So again, I'm not going over every little thing. It's just that's pretty much basic on how the game plays. So my final thoughts. What do I think of this? This game is fantastic. This is my opinion. I think there's going to be a mixed bag with this because this is their most aggressive game that I have ever played. This is a very, very much in your face. I just hit you. What the hell are you going to do about it? That's the vibe I got from playing this. Because even though if you have ambitions out there that don't require attacking other players, you're most likely going to be attacking other players because you want that resource, or you want some of these relics, or you want to steal them from other players. So the whole game is just very, very aggressive, and I love that. That, to me, it is fantastic. And this is just the base game alone. The only thing I have to say I disliked, I mean, the board, I mean, it is a space game. You know, their other games are very colorful, and don't get me wrong, the artwork is great. I love their artwork in this game, but the board is very, it's very dark. It's not as colorful as the other games, but it is a space game. To me, it wasn't that big of a deal. And since this is the base game, you can tell that this is a pretty much setting you up and helping you get into the campaign, because the campaign has more rules to it. And I'm going to be doing one, if I ever get to the campaign, I'll be doing a separate review just for that. So right now, I'm just reviewing the base game alone. So is the base game alone worth getting? I say absolutely. If you're not into the campaign, I think you should definitely pick this game up, because it is, out of all their games, it is easily accessible than Root. The rules for this game aren't that bad at all. You know, is Root a better game? Technically, yeah, it is, because it's more deeper than this base game. Again, I haven't played the campaign, so I can't tell you which is better yet. But the Root right now is a better game, but Arcs is will be going to the table a lot more than Root, because Root is an asymmetrical game. It's harder to teach. This, the people I taught it to, they caught on really quick. It's that accessible, and that's why it'll be coming to the table more than Root. I can't say much about. I never played Ahoy, and Vast is also another game that's hard to table because of the asymmetrical gameplay. So another thing that I really like is the trick taking element of it also. So you have this set of cards. You have to be wise in how you're going to play. Do you want to take it? Sometimes taking initiative might not benefit you, because maybe people know ahead of time what you're going to do. And if you want to be sneaky and tactical, maybe let them take initiative, and then I'll do maybe a sneak attack after that. Again, because sometimes people know what could possibly be in your hand, so you could copy their card, even though you don't have maybe that certain suit to do those actions in your hand. So there's no real luck here. Everything is very well balanced, and it's amazing how well balanced I believe this game is. But final score. Again, I think a lot of people are going to probably disagree with me, because I know there's a lot of gamers out there that do not like mean games, and this is a mean game, and it's right up my alley. I'm giving this a 9.5 out of 10. It's fantastic. Again, it would be a 10 if there was more to it. They do say don't add the lore and the leader cards for your first game. Again, with those cards, you got an excellent game right here, and the replayability is always going to be great, because during setup, certain planets are going to be blacked out. You can't go there, and of course, every round, every chapter is going to be a different goal, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. It keeps you coming up with different strategies, and that's what I like. What I didn't bring up is the game, like Root, it forces you to, and that doesn't force you, but it speeds the game up. So when you're playing a 4-player game, and I highly recommend you play this game with 4 players. I think it is best at 4 players. So the second somebody gets to 27 points, the game is going to end. So those ambition chips, once they get flipped around, there's going to be higher scoring. So I have yet to play 5 chapters. It always ended before 5 chapters. The first game went about 2 hours and 45 minutes, but it was a learning game. Once everybody knows what's going on, you can easily play this game in 90 minutes, 2 hours tops. It can go by really quick. But again, that caveat, everybody has to be familiar with this game. It can cause a little bit of AP, which may drag as well. But again, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I think this game is fantastic. I highly recommend. Again, I think Doom Imperium might be dethroned. Let's see. But I'm always down to play this game. Again, this is just the base game alone. So yeah, I do recommend you pick up the base game alone if you're not into the campaign, because of how accessible this game is. Trying to remember if I missed anything. Oh yes, I didn't go over the guild cards. I do really like the guild cards. They give you the passive ability and the locks cards. Again, there's some of those cards that really piss people off. Like I said, this is not in Root. Some people aren't even fighting each other. You have the vagabond just doing whatever the hell he wants to do. You have certain players not really, just maybe getting points from building stuff. Here you are face to face, and you are getting in everyone's face every round, and that's what I love, and that's the type of game for me that I really like to play. If you're not, like I stated before, if you're not into conflict or aggressive games, this is probably one of the most conflict and aggressive filled games. And I think with the campaign, it's just going to get even better. So that is going to do it for today, guys. A 9.5 out of 10, a fantastic game. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment. Please like and subscribe. Help this little channel grow. That's going to do it for today, guys. Have a great one.